The justice is blocking, for now, a bid by the Trump administration to add a citizenship question to the 2020 census in a 5-4 ruling, sending it back to a lower court for consideration. Now, Chief Justice John Roberts joining the court's liberal wing and thwarting the president on this. Roberts also writing the decision for the majority, and he said, "We do not hold that the agency decision here was substantively invalid, but agencies must pursue their goals reasonably. Reasoned decision-making under the law calls for an explanation for agency action. What was provided here was more of a distraction." And the president of the United States just tweeting a moment ago, "I have asked the lawyers if they can delay the census, no matter how long, until the United States Supreme Court is given additional information from which it can make a final and decisive decision on this very critical matter. Can anyone really believe that as a great country we are not able to ask whether or not someone is a citizen? Only in America!" Exclamation point for emphasis. Joining me now is Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, a Fox News contributor, and seriously, like the best background I've ever seen on Fox News. Karl, good to have you here. Could you comment on this decision on the census and how it had, the citizenship question had been on back in the 50s? It was off for a while, and this isn't really a question on the substance, it's on the process.
Yeah, it's definitely on the process. This question was on the census for much of the 20th century, but then removed and not been on since, I think, the 70s or 80s. And the court here is dealing with a relatively narrow question. Did the Commerce Secretary, Wilbur Ross, give sufficient explanation of why he made this decision? Justice Roberts, in his opinion, cites Secretary Ross's responses in which he said the Department of Justice encouraged him to put it in there and said that was insufficient. So they've now sent it back to the lower court. Actually, this week, the federal government was also the Department of Justice was trying to get some additional information in. I think they understood they might have a weakness on this particular question, so they were trying to get additional information into consideration. They'll now have a chance to do that at the lower court. But the Census Bureau, which is part of the Department of Commerce, said it has 2 months before it has to print all of the forms in order to have them done in time for 2020. The court is at the end of its decision-making time. It's not going to meet again until October, except perhaps on a hyper-emergency basis. So the president's going to try and buy them, July, August, September, and October. 4 months, and it's going to be a question of whether or not the census can hold off that long.
All right, well, we'll see, and we'll keep an eye on that, and I'm sure a lot of people will debate the question of whether you can actually delay a census. The language that the Founding Fathers had is clear to some and murky to others. I wanted to ask you about another decision that the Supreme Court had today, and it has to do with politics, and it's about gerrymandering. The court basically saying, we have no role here. We are not going to get involved. Justice Kagan dissented, and she said, of all times to abandon the court's duty to declare the law, this was not the one. The practices challenged in these cases imperil our system of government. Part of the court's role in that system is to defend its foundations. None is more important than free and fair elections. With respect, but deep sadness, I dissent. Dave Wasserman had a tweet. It basically said, these extreme partisan gerrymandering at the congressional level is not getting all that much pushback from the court. And I understand, Karl, and you can help me here, you're a historian, the Supreme Court has never really wanted to get involved in these gerrymandering issues. This was to be left to the states to decide.
Yeah, exactly. And look, this is hyperventilation on the part of Justice Kagan. Elbridge Gerry was the governor of Massachusetts in the early 1800s. This practice has been going on for approaching 220, 230 years of drawing these lines. And in 2 cases, one involving action by Republicans to dispute the gerrymandering, the drawing of lines in Maryland, and one by Democrats, the drawing of the lines in North Carolina. The court said, we're not going to get involved in what is essentially a political issue. There's no constitutional question here. Look, if Justice Kagan was right and gerrymandering was going to undermine democracy and bring about the end of the American Republic, we've been at this for 220 years. And if they think it's bad today, in the 1880s, Ohio redistricted itself 4 times in 1 decade. It's supposed to do it once every decade, but if the Republicans elected a governor and a Republican legislature, they redrew the lines to their satisfaction. 2 years later, if the Democrats elected a governor and the legislature, they redrew them. This has been going on forever, and the last thing we want to do is have justices get involved in this. One final point. There's enormous hypocrisy about this. Democrats say, oh, we've got to deal with this issue because we're using this theory of efficient voting. We're going to throw hundreds of maps at the judges and say they could have done any one of these maps and they didn't. If you apply efficient voting, this theory that the Democrats are throwing out there, and apply it to California, then Republicans should have a minimum of between 18 and 21 members of their 53-member delegation. They got 7. So if the Democrats are concerned about gerrymandering, prove it by filing a lawsuit challenging gerrymandering in California. This is all about politics. Let's not kid ourselves.
In 10 seconds, Carl, can you tell me if you saw anybody on the debate stage last night that you think can beat Donald Trump in 2020? Look,
this is the beginning of the process. Think about this. What lines do you remember from past primary debates on either party? You can remember some. I paid for this microphone, Mr. Breen. Where's the beef? Jesus Christ. All of these things we can remember, but they all have something in common. They weren't at the beginning of the process. They were at the far end of the debates when the debates were close to the time that people are making decisions. Even Democrats, in a new AP poll, 35% of Democrats saying they're paying a lot of attention to the process so far. We're at the beginning, not the end.
All right, I'm going to let you go and enjoy my home state there of Colorado. Oh, your home state, too. I know you.
And my home state, too.
No,
I was a member of the Aspen Junior Bantams when I was a tyke.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Karl Rove, thank you.